A lot of people, they're a little confused. They're like, why does Sadykhov get the first? He gets the A side. And number two, Terrance McKinney, plus 130 underdog. People are a little confused. Now, AJ, we have to address the situation. If you're a Terrance McKinney or a Terrance McKinney supporter, you're like, this is madness. Why is my man an underdog? It doesn't make sense. However, you also have to take into consideration Terrance McKinney made one of the hottest splashes into the UFC that you could possibly make as a prospect, right? Immediately jumped into contention and then had to fight some of these stronger, more skilled guys. And Terrance McKinney throughout his career, if you followed it or even look back in hindsight, has always been a live by the sword, die by the sword type of fighter. So when you're willing to get down, you're not always going to come out on top. Now, if you are going to be saying a couple of sentences based on why Terrance McKinney should not be overlooked in this fight, like what would you describe?
Not every night is a bad night when you're a fighter. Sometimes you step in, it's just not your night. That's what we saw with the Bonfim performance. It just wasn't him. It wasn't like that. T-Rex is not going to step in there and let that happen a second time. Yeah. This guy's explosive. He's energetic. He has the potential to really start climbing that rank. And I think that right there is what does it for me, Derek. What about you?
For Terrance McKinney, I'll say he is one of the best first-round fighters the UFC has to offer. And if these guys go at it the way that they go about most of their fights, it's hard to really see this one go past about a round and a half. But then again, AJ, that's where the questions start coming in, because Terrance McKinney can starch anybody really, really quickly, right? But we've also seen that live by the sword, die by the sword mentality lead to putting everything out there. And if you can't quite get the finish, you ain't got nothing for rounds 2 and rounds 3. So that's where the problem now lies, where people who have been burned betting on Terrance McKinney saying, well, bro, if you ain't got it 3 rounds, I don't know if I could bet on you. I love you first round. But can you give me more than that? Now, the Bonfim fight, I will say, character-wise or just like history-wise, it didn't really fit the bill. It didn't fit what a Terrance McKinney fight normally looks like. The Ghost Pepper, Eric Gonzalez, that win was good. Did it age well, AJ? Not quite. Would you agree?
I'd agree with you, Derek.
And then what else do you got? You got Drew Dober, where you beat him until you didn't, because the man's got a block iron head and just doesn't go away. And then the big impressive win was the Matt Frivola. You steamrolled the steamroller in 2 shots, and then the Smile Killer, right? Faraz Ziam, right? Those are big wins. Now, T-Rex, AJ, do you know why Terrance McKinney has that nickname?
No, I've never actually looked into it.
I mean, let's just kind of like thought experiment, right? T-Rex, what are their characteristics known for?
Instantly I think little arms, but obviously not him. Yeah.
No,
but,
power. No, you're right. Aggressive, powerful monster with very little tiny arms. Well, Terrance McKinney has his tiny 73-inch reach arms, right? But my man looked like an anaconda versus Sadykhov, who got like a 69-inch reach. So he's not dealing with those problems. He'll be able to get his strikes off in the pocket. Let's talk about game plan and X's and O's, AJ. How does this fight play out?
Ooh, man, this is actually one of the closer fights. I was expecting this one to creep to a pick'em, Derek, because Nazim, homeboy, brings the fight consistently. He's going to be in your face, and the same thing for T-Rex. He is always going to be that explosive, exciting fighter. So I'm actually expecting Terrance to be looking for the counter strikes, looking to pick his poison, choose his shots wisely as Nazim is being drawn in. We even saw in the Evan Elder fight. He was able to be dropped. He's able to be put down. He's able to get hurt. And thankfully for Nazim, he did win that fight. He was able to come back and get it. But with somebody that has a crack that Terrance McKinney presents, it's going to be very hard to eat one on the jaw and keep coming. Do you think he has that kind of durability? And is there any other X's and O's that you think are going to be exploited besides just a classic back and forth, maybe some clinch game? But I don't really expect much wrestling or jiu-jitsu going on in this fight. Do you, Derek?
Bro, that was my immediate worry, is that he ate some shots against Elder and just ate him. And it went right through the guard, and he just like, all right, let's keep going. And he got dropped and all that stuff. And it's like, you can't do that against Terrance McKinney. That is a recipe for getting knocked out. So really, the reason why I like Sadykhov here is because he has the ability to control the fight, to corral you against the cage for 3 rounds, for 3 full dominant rounds in your face, no matter where you're at, like you had just mentioned. But he also has other aspects to his game, right? Now, Evan Elder, would you argue, AJ, is a bigger takedown threat than Terrance McKinney?
Oh yeah.
So when you saw that and you had the threat of that guy who can take you down, who did take him down, and he was able to get right back up to his feet, it feels like that threat gets eliminated a little bit against McKinney. So Sadykhov will feel a little more confident getting his shots off, right? Actually opening up a little bit more. Who falls first? I mean, we're going to ultimately figure that out at the end of the day. But I will say that Sadykhov, man, like this is not a guy that you particularly want to play with here. Do you see anything that lends the odds makers to saying minus 155 Sadykhov, or do you think that the line is completely skewed?
No, no, no. I do. I think it's close, especially a lot of people, you said yourself, Derek, a lot of people are jaded as a Terrance McKinney better, especially in that last fight, him not having his performance the way he normally does, him acknowledging it, mentioning it, taking accountability of it speaks volumes in our book, but in the bettor's mind, not a lot of people like that. So I can see where the underdog aspect really comes into play. And going back to what you were saying, we'll see who falls first. I have some weird feeling, Derek, that whoever falls first will probably win the fight. And Nazim is a perfect example of that. He can get cracked on the chin, get back up to win the fight. Same thing with T-Rex. As long as he's not eating a flying knee, homeboy will be in the fight no matter what. Thankfully, I don't really see Nazim throwing too many flying knees. What about you, Derek?
I mean, listen, yeah, I'm not counting it out. 155 pounds, these boys are ready to get it. I agree with you, though, man. In that weird twist of fate, somehow, some way, the fighter who suffers adversity first probably will turn around and actually get the job done, or it'll just be like a one-way affair where it's just a straight steamrolling. We can't predict the future, but we could do our best to try. And with that being said, AJ, the only thing that we have left is just to talk about how it gets done. I'm going to roll with Nazim Sadykhov here. Not that I'm a Terrance McKinney hater or anything like that. I think he's fun. I think he's really exciting. But you can guarantee Sadykhov will be there for 3 rounds. You cannot guarantee that about McKinney. So I'm more or less taking the safe bet. Give me Sadykhov. Give me a TKO. How you see it?
Ooh, Derek, I'm also going TKO, but I'm going on the other side of the cage right here. Give me T-Rex, Terrance McKinney. I'm looking for that counter striking. Nazim stepping in, eating a left hook, eating a right uppercut, whatever it is. I think Terrance McKinney has that popping and to prove why he is where he is and why he's fought all the greats that he has. Yep. Looking for T-Rex, Terrance McKinney, TKO, knockout number 1. Or round 1, excuse me.
Round 1. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That is going to be your UFC Vegas 77 slate now. If I didn't mention it earlier, I'm pretty sure I did. I do apologize. Late minute replacements here and shakeups on the card. Jack Della Maddalena gets inserted to the co-main event. How he's not the main event, I don't know. It's probably marketing reasons more than anything else. But he did get added, so we didn't cover that one. Not sure if we'll cover it on the post show, but that's neither here nor there. With that being said, folks, the most anticipated segment of the program,